Vita Sapien organization holds that the root of the climate and ecological crisis is the beliefs that people hold. In essence, the collapse of the global ecosystem does not conflict with the views of world religions, or the dominant spiritualities or philosophies held today. Vita Worldview is a solution to this problem, a new way of seeing the world that fosters an ecologically sustainable civilization. There are 3 parts to Vita Worldview. First, there is a sustainable way of living called life-wise philosophy. Next, a nature-based spiritual view called verdant spirituality. And finally, a registered religious institution devoted to the living planet called Vita Religion. Combined, these provide a foundation to help civilization survive the 21st century and thrive beyond. The following videos explain key concepts of Vita Worldview. Spirituality is not easily defined, and the academic literature shows 3 dominant themes being religious, medical, and psychological. The absence of a common definition shouldn't prevent us from having meaningful conversations about how spirituality can help to foster a sustainable civilization. Vita Sapien organization has developed the new spiritual framework to make it easy to talk about spirituality. The framework views spirituality as an umbrella concept that shelters many themes. 6 core themes are identified, and these are headlined with the titles: The Bigger Thing, The Golden Rule, Life's Big Questions, Journey Within, Transcendence, Higher Values. Using this framework, it is possible for people to have conversations about the subject of spirituality, and how it might help to advance the Verdant Age. Vita is a nature-based religion that is devoted not to God, crystals, or woo-woo, but to the living planet itself. It teaches the belief in a supernatural being called Vitae-planeta, which is comprised of all the animals and plants on Earth, plus the ocean, atmosphere, and soil. In addition, there are 10 practices that give effect to the belief in Vitae-planeta. Vita Religion aspires for humans to survive the 21st century, and to thrive on Earth for at least a galactic year, which is about 230 million Earth years. The religion is unique as it is framed more as a secular belief system than a religion in the classic sense, and is non-exclusive, so it can comfortably coexist with other religious or spiritual beliefs. Vita is a registered religious institution, and religious affairs are overseen by Vitan Ministers. One pathway to become a Vitan Minister is through a process of ordination. Ordained ministers would necessarily be self-starting individuals with a deep love of nature and a good understanding of the environmental sciences. People of all genders, races, and cultures are eligible to become Vitan Ministers. The ordination process includes an individual demonstrating a thorough understanding of Vita Worldview and manifesting the personal traits known as Imperium and Automotion. Imperium refers to an individual manifesting a force of character to act on behalf of the living planet. Automotion refers to a person undertaking actions directed by self-motivation and initiative. Learn more about becoming a Vitan Minister on the website vitasapien.org. Vita Worldview holds that all the animals and plants on Earth, plus the ocean, atmosphere, and soil are parts of a single superorganism called Imperium Vitae-planeta, or just Vitae-planeta, for short. This concept suggests we humans are cells in the body of Vitae-planeta and that we have an innate responsibility to look after the interests of the host. As a living organism, Vitae-planeta displays homeostasis, which is the ability to regulate temperature and chemical equilibrium of her body. As most people aren't honoring their responsibilities to Vitae-planeta, she is losing her homeostasis, and this is a problem, as Vitae-planeta is our life support system. However, if Vitae-planeta can be brought back to health, we humans could live on Earth for many millions of years into the future. Besides a belief in the supernatural being Vitae-planeta, the canons of conduct are the other structural part of Vita Religion. Vita calls these practices. There are 10 practices, each of which give effect to the belief in Vita-planeta. These are titled Biosphere, Live with Earthity, Practice of Vitamicin, Grow Something, Go Wild, Celebrate the Full Moon, Reinvent New Year, Cosmos and Lava, Know Your White Horse, Return to the Flux. The practices cross a spectrum of activities from the hands-on practical to the transcendent. It is not necessary to participate in all the practices to be a Vitan. If enough people believe and practice Vita religion, it is possible to change the trajectory of human civilization toward a time when humans and the biosphere thrive in synergy. The word flux refers to the high-entropy biophysical flux of minerals and energy in the ocean, atmosphere, and soil from which plants create living matter through photosynthesis. The minerals and energy that make up all living beings originated in the flux, and it is to the flux that they return upon the death of the organism. In this way, the minerals and energy from one body can become reanimated by fostering the growth of other organisms. One of Vita religion's practices is called return to the flux. This refers to Vitan funerary practice that seeks to proficiently return the minerals and energy of the deceased to the flux from whence they came in order to foster reanimation. This might be achieved through cremation with wood as fuel or green burial. Life has existed on Earth for over 3.8 billion years because our planet has an abundance of water in its liquid form. This is because Earth's orbit around the Sun is not so distant that all the water freezes, nor so close that all the water boils off. It is understood that Earth will remain within this so-called habitable zone for 1 billion years or more. Beyond this time, the Sun will age, swell and massively increase the energy falling on Earth. Eventually Earth will be baked dry, taking all of life with it. Vita uses the expression long future to describe the time ahead in which Earth will be habitable for life. With proper stewardship of the Earth system, humans should be able to survive deep into the long future. The word Ecophany is formed from the words ecological and epiphany, and is a core concept for Vita Worldview. Ecophany refers to a spiritual, emotional, or intellectual awakening to nature, and particularly the plight of the biosphere, in an individual. Ecophany is a one-way street, as once you feel yourself to be part of the biosphere, you can't unfeel it. Ecophany can be emotionally distressing for some, but the personal growth that follows makes it wholly worthwhile. Ecophany fosters pro-environmental behavioral change as it creates moral concern for nature and helps create identity fusion with the living planet. The mission of Vita Worldview is to foster ecophany in hundreds of millions of people around the world, rapidly. This is known as fostering rapid, mass ecophany. A central mission of Vita Worldview is to advance the Verdant Age. The Verdant Age is a potential future time when human civilization finds a balance with nature that allows us to thrive in synergy with the biosphere. The Verdant Age has a number of analogues including Gaia 2.0, the Ecozoic era, ecological civilization, and Class 5 planets, which are those with agency-dominated biospheres as described by astrophysicist Adam Frank. To enter the Verdant Age, it is necessary for humanity to get its affairs in order, which means to euthanize the fossil fuel industry, draw down 1 trillion tons of carbon from the atmosphere, rewild 1/3 of the planet, and clean up the mess left behind by 250 years of industrial civilization. Efforts to advance the Verdant Age are referred to as earthwork and is the raison d'etre of human existence. The concept thrive in synergy is associated with that of the Verdant Age. It refers to a potential future time when the biosphere and human civilization prosper in a mutualistic relationship. This is to say that the biosphere advances the interests of the humans and that the humans advance the interests of the biosphere. Thrive suggests that both parties do more than just survive but prosper. Synergy suggests that the combination is greater than the sum of the parts. This relationship between humans and nature could last a very long time, tens or maybe even hundreds of millions of years. To enter the Verdant Age and thrive in synergy, it is necessary for humanity to survive the Anthropocene. The concept of 9 boundaries safe is a design principle aimed at ensuring that human activities do not exceed critical thresholds within the Earth's systems, known as planetary boundaries. These planetary boundaries represent limits within which Earth processes must operate to maintain a hospitable environment for humanity, referred to as a safe operating space for humanity. The 9 planetary boundaries include novel entities, stratospheric ozone depletion, atmospheric aerosol loading, ocean acidification, biogeochemical flows, freshwater change, land system change, biosphere integrity, and climate change. 6 of the 9 boundaries have been exceeded, representing an existential threat to humanity. 9 boundaries safe is a necessary design consideration to help humanity enter the Verdant Age, the potential future time when people and planet thrive in synergy deep into the long future. Homo sapiens evolved around 300,000 years ago. For most of that period, our tools and practices changed little from those of our ancestors. However, around 70,000 years ago in Africa, changes in the wiring of the mind unlocked a reservoir of creativity that allowed for advanced cognitive and transcendent abilities. Cognitively, we developed advanced technology such as archery. Transcendentally, we expressed spirituality through cave art, jewelry, and funerary practices. The combination of cognitive and transcendent abilities conferred a significant advantage on modern humans, and these traits spread around the globe over subsequent millennia. In summary, Vita Worldview holds that spirituality evolved in humans 70,000 years ago in Africa and arrived in Europe 40,000 years ago. The Cro-Magnon were a group of early humans who lived in Europe between 40,000 and 10,000 years ago. The Cro-Magnon were the first Homo sapiens in Europe to have the advanced cognitive and transcendent abilities that first arose 70,000 years ago in Africa in the period called the Middle Stone Age Revolution. The Cro-Magnon commenced the Upper Paleolithic Revolution characterized by advanced tools including archery, plus funerary practices, detailed cave art, and jewelry. Through their 30,000-year existence in Europe, the Neanderthals disappeared, the Ice Age receded into the interglacial maximum. The Cro-Magnon were hunter-gatherers, and the ending of Cro-Magnon culture roughly coincides with the advancement of agriculture and the beginning of the Holocene epoch. The Uffington white horse is a horse-like symbol etched into the side of a hill in southern England. The horse is believed to date back around 3,000 years to the Bronze Age. While its purpose is unclear, the white horse has received continual maintenance over this time to prevent it being overgrown by vegetation. The horse is made of chalk framed against the dark green grass. Chalk is comprised of the ancient shells of marine phytoplankton, and thus, the Uffington white horse is a representation of an animal created with plants. The Uffington white horse is the inspiration to the LifeWise philosophy practice, Know Your White Horse, which describes knowing where to find spiritual solace in nature. Every 28 days or so, there is an opportunity to host a Vitan moon party. The moon is said to be full over 3 nights, the night before, the night after, and the night of the full moon. On one of these evenings, gather with friends, family, and associates to observe the rise of the full moon, and engage in an evening of socialization and big talk. Big talk is meaningful conversations about substantive issues affecting society, such as the climate and ecological crisis and its solutions. Moon parties are an excellent way to introduce people to Vita Worldview, and for the host to advance socially by inviting people outside of their social circles to attend. The process of determining when and where to host a Vitan moon party is called moonscoping. A latent Vitan is someone who has the characteristics of a Vitan but who is yet to learn a Vita worldview. Specifically, a Vitan is someone who frames their understanding of the world through science, who has a spiritual bond with nature, and is in action to make things better. Latent Vitans are people who will adopt Vita worldview as their primary philosophical view once it is put before them in a compelling manner. There are around 53 million latent Vitans in the Western world alone, representing about 8% of Western adults. Enrolling the latent Vitans is a communications challenge, and everyone can help by sharing Vita worldview to friends, family, and associates. Learn more about Vita worldview on the website vitasapien.org.